Welcome to Google SketchUp Tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn how to customize our Mike's Malt Shop logo. So we're going to change that into whatever name we want to call it. Since this is a component and we're going to edit that, we can either drag that component in again, or we can just do a move copy. That's what I'm going to do, is select that and select move. And select the move copy command, and I'm just going to move it over here in space. Since this is a component and it also has components within the components, so we need to explode that multiple times until we actually get to a point where the text and the actual cup there is separate entities. So if I select that component, right click, select explode, and we will see it's still a component in there. Explode again. And one more time should do the trick. Explode. And now we can see that we have two different components. The malt is one component and Mike's Malt Shop is another component or entity. Now, to make sure that we're going to add this text on a plane that is the same as the existing Mike's Malt Shop lettering, I'm just going to sketch a rectangle in the background using some points on the Mike's Malt Shop name. I will select rectangle, and I'm just going to zoom in and select some random points on there. Don't have to be exact. And then I'm going to click on another point back here, and we have a surface there. And from there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the Mike's Malt Shop up a bit. That is now up out of the way. I'm going to keep it there just for reference. And then what I'm going to do is click on my front view so I can see that. And I'm going to go up to Tools and select 3D Text. And once I do that, a dialog box pops up. And I'm just going to type in the name that I want to call it. I'm going to call this Alexa's Malt Shop. You can call that whatever you like. And I've got a height right now of 22 inches or 1 foot 10 inches and an extruded depth of 5 inches. My justification is left, and I'm going to stick with the Comic Sans MS font, but make sure you adjust this to get a height that is somewhat similar to the existing text. So once I select place, and it looks like it's in the top view, but when I do drag that up, it does switch to the front view. I did put it on that plane, and next thing I can do is erase this plane that I created. Select erase, and then delete these remaining two lines, and my text looks somewhat close to the same height as the previous Mike's Malt Shop. It is a little bit longer, but that's not a problem. So I'm going to select that 3D text, hit the delete key, and then I want to color this in another color that I want to change that to. So selecting my paint bucket, and I will stick with the red. I will select my font there, and if we look on an angle, we can see that it was extruded to the 5 inches deep. Looking at the front view again, I may choose to move that text over. That looks pretty good where it is. If I wanted to, I could just use the move command and place that accordingly. And then what I want to do is I want to make this a component again. So I'm going to use my select tool. Draw a window around capturing both those objects. Right click, select make component, and I'm going to call this Alexa's Malt Shop. And it is a component. Now once we hit create, there I don't have to worry about losing that. So now I can go over to Mike's Malt Shop, that component, delete it, and I can bring this one over now and place that in a spot that I like. I'm going to try and center that kind of amongst the 2 points there, and everything looks good. Check to make sure it is actually on the surface, and my text is not on that surface. It's not mounted. You can see there's a gap in there. So what I want to do is I want to move that. So I'm going to select my move tool, select any point on there, and then I'm going to drag that back until it highlights and says on face. You'll see that pop up there. It says on face. That is done. Look at my isometric view, zoom back out, and now I have my new Malt Shop title on there. Feel free to use any text or colors on that, or any different type of name. And that concludes this tutorial.